But Blake, right, he was at Blake. I'm Blake Lester, born on March 24th, 1981. Passed away March 21st, 2022. I still write my When he was born, when I was hearing him, the doctors thought he was a lot bigger because they didn't take the weight, they couldn't measure weight like they do now. And Chad here, it was a kid I could have, you know. Yeah. So they were surprised to find out once they broke my water's always had to be broken. That it was carrying so much water. He wasn't that big. And at the time, luckily, they had a monitor that hadn't had it with jail or Chad. And every time they'd have a contraction, his heart rate would drop. So they figured the cord, umbilical cord to be wrapped around, which it was. And I begged him, just take him. I'll get around a scar, just take him. I was scared that he would make it. Well, we stayed in him almost 41 years, still not on him. But, so he was born naturally, don't know why, but he would take him, but I had naturally, and the umbilical cord was not wrapped around once, twice, but 3 times. And I was induced with him because they thought maybe he'd get too big since he was a big baby. 3 times. And it was a miracle for me that I wasn't induced. It was my choice. And for that, I believe it saved his life, and it's why I had it done. He wouldn't have made it, but he did. And he was the littlest baby I had. 6 pounds, 7 ounces. That was tiny to me. But I can tell you, and this warm and I was in I was opposite of postpartum. I was on cloud 9 with my babies. He was the sweetest little thing. And he fattened out fast. Real fast. I'm sure it was because of the cord, At least he was, and he was a special combination. Because he was the most caring, loving, forgiving, loyal to a fault sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Which I'm not too, but you don't want me here out here. Anyway, he was such a first spirit mixed with that. It was a unique combination. And he was unique, as we all were. It's so very nice of God. I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I don't know how we're gonna make it. After I lost my first sister, not my mom, I didn't think I could make it out. If not for my kids, I don't think I would. Not for my babies. I shall. And Chad. And my baby. I love you, baby. He was little but mighty. Little but mighty, like his great-grandfather, Opa, from mom and my mom's dad was like his size. Well, his dad's not huge either. knew him very well. He loved his Brad and Brian so much. After we moved, we'd come back to see him. He'd cry out all of that. So much so that I didn't want to have because it was so hard. He'd be like, well, I didn't cry so much. You know, just love her so much. You know, even and others too, but they were like brothers, right? We were next to y'all. And there's Texas. But they used to play boxing, Chad, they were Greek, mighty black boy. All the time. And Star Wars was big then. Star Wars, I knew the name of all the characters. You know, we're forever looking for stormtroopers. But they had all the Star Wars things, all the castle, all the different things. And I could have to think about it, but they brought, I'm sure they still remember. They had them all. Yeah, and that's for Southern Universe too, as well, right? We got Ding Dong. Yes. It was just, it was a wonderful thing. Shell was a little bit jealous of Chad. Because she had all the gym until Chad came. She was 5 when Chad was born. But you were 5 when Chad was born. Yes. I think I know. Yeah, Blake was her little, that was her baby. You're not talking, yes, Blake was her baby. She didn't have that jealousy. And she would come around, but I stopped that pretty quick. 7 years between them. Chad and Blake was just a little over 2 years. A little over 2 years. Forever clean with those Star Wars and all those little things with them, you know. I'm not. And clean your rooms. Okay, like this cleaning, I'd go in there, open the closet, look under the bed, that's where everything was stuffed. I know you did that, it's like always did. And they were good on entertaining themselves as well, you know. So sweet. I'm so afraid to just, I miss those babies. You got babies so young to me. I remember people saying to me, it goes fast, and I thought, oh yeah, they're staying this little bit. You know, because that's what I wanted, what I wanted. And then in the time, when I went to kindergarten, well, we lived right next door to Brad and Brian and my sister and her husband, and Gail, who's gone now, lived down the street. So we were right close together. And Gail left. Blake was 2, Chad was 4, Jill was 9. And I thought I would die, and I can't make this, I can't make this. I mean, we were more like twins. I can't make this without Gail. But, and they were my kids. And my husband too. My kids saved my life. You know, I mean, they're such a joy. They saved my life. Such precious times. When we moved to Texas, I wasn't gonna go. You know, I'm not going to Texas. Leave my sisters, my friends. There's my best friend since 12 right here, Sheila, who's sister too. and her parents were my second parents. And like, they thought I had all kinds of grandparents and, you know. But when we moved to Texas, you know, it was, he started kindergarten here. I mean, I started kindergarten here. And we spent most of the day in the principal's office with the hand to my name. Now, that doesn't sound like that sounds like Jack. But that's how it was. And he swore that was not in Arizona, that was Texas. Right? Because he's a Texas boy. You know. I mean, he told people, we're from Texas. I'm not going, really? How did that happen? I was here. But he just finally, he wouldn't accept it. He didn't stop school in Texas. That just wouldn't pass. You know. But he's a Texas boy now all the way. Tad's a lot of Texas too, but he lives in California now. But those Cowboys, boy, we'd have to watch those Cowboys, and I think it's a game, okay? But when they lose, I mean, it's like the world stopped, you know? And that screaming and the yelling. If they won, it was wonderful screaming. If not, it was, well, I'm saying, it was not good, not good. But Texas, he's a Texas boy. And they grew up, and they did go to school there. Sylv was so homesick, I never thought I would, but I sent her back home for a while. She stayed with her grandparents. But she practically lived with the Stoogies for a while. Not he, excuse me, Blake, my baby. No, you were home. Like, I mean, you were as away from home, second half. I remember storming over there when the school called, where's Blake? Now you hear, your mom's here, I can hear her. Marked up there to get him. And to school he went, or he lived. Alright. And they became so close. The whole family loved Father, loves you all. Loves you all. Not loved, loves you all. I hate it when people say loved. Like, that's it, they're gone. Well, he's not. He's not. I do believe here with us right now. He never got to meet my mom or my sister Gail. But he is now. Anyway, his friend was Chad Stoogie of the Stoogies. I'm going to be friendly with his sister.
Now my sister.
Yeah. And I was, she's so older, she's not going to be. Remember when he was even young, I don't know if you do often, but you coming out saying, I've been married him someday. Not that old, really. Or my head body, but I had no control there. Then he would tell me, oh, she's my friend. You know, this would be like this and my sister. Come on. I believed him. Because that made sense to me, you know, until the point when he stayed with Corey. What's Corey's? Emerson, I think it's there. And his mom calls me. And she says, you know, there's an adult female here with these kids. I says, yeah. I mean, I guess all of that. So, I mean, well, I can tell you right now, Blake and Abden are not just friends. Just want to have that today. It must be so. But it was meant to be, because from that relationship, Tristan was born. His son Tristan. And he was meant to be here. He was meant to be here. And I believe that. And his friends from Texas, all of them, he still talks I can't, sorry, he's still here. I can't grasp that. But he did, he would talk about me all the time. All the time. Because he was going back to Texas. You know, I said, you know, Blake, you never can go home if you know. Things change. They change. I know. And their friends were friends. Both Chad and Blake's friends. For life. And that's unique. I've got two happy things too. In the way I do. But Sheila was my second home too. Anyway, that was where he wanted to be. He did, he wanted to be. Then came the time in Texas. Tristan's first birthday, right? He took his, father-in-law, that's what I think of it. And took his car, Mercedes, right? Because apparently, I don't know if this is even true, I was told they had guns. Is that true?
There was guns earlier tonight.
You know, he told me what I wanted to know wrong. Yeah, obviously, you wouldn't allow that, right? But he said he's getting the kids safe to safety, you know. Corey was in the front seat, right? Rob was in the front seat. And the other two guys, I'm not sure who were. Anyway, he get into a tree going about 90 miles an hour, right to West's car, you know, to this. And, yeah, I mean, after thought, I know her mom said, prepare yourself for the worst. Because, you know, in the tree, I mean, he was in and out of consciousness for many times. And he was lucky to make it. I was lucky to make it too. They had was all right. We did. But poor Wes, he was buying a car. I remember him, well, I don't have a car. You know. Remember that at the house. But telling him in hospital, because they had decided, the policeman, that it was wrong driving because of the black policeman or whatever, I don't know. And he got this very confused look on, he's getting this confused look on his face. He said, the thing is, I wouldn't allow anyone else to drive Wes's car. I mean, you know, now he could, right? In his mind. But it was from me, real confused, but you lose short-term memory when you're out like that. I mean, he was lucky to be alive. I got my call. He was there for about 12 down there, probably as fast as he hit that tree. And they, airplane flew him to Fort Worth. I remember being there, and of course he had to have surgery. He broke his femur, strongest bone in your body, you know. I think he was just sitting there begging me, I need some water. Give me some water. You know, and they don't want you to do that, obviously, before surgery. I probably snuck him in some ice. But not water, you know. It was hard. I had to go out because I was too, I was an enabler, I will say